Hey everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What is shaking on your Monday night? Man, we had us a 3-hour-long members-only show yesterday on the old YouTube with our good friend the Wolf. It tuckered me out. I'm just coming back from it now. But get ready, because tonight I'm going to tell you all about the creature that's some people... I call those dumb people, believe exists, called Bigfoot. I'm going to go through it, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you like Bigfoot, if you think Bigfoot is real, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I'm saying you can believe in Bigfoot, but if you believe in Bigfoot after I tell you and show you the things I'm going to tell and show you this evening, you're going to want to take a long, hard look in the mirror and ask, why don't I believe my soap dish is a portal to another universe? Why don't I believe... Anyway, I'm just saying those things about Bigfoot for now. Hey, do me a favor, and I need this favor very desperately. Please like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, all the absolutely free things you can do. They're totally free. Don't cost you a penny. To support the show and help us with the algorithm, the almighty, all-powerful, all-seeing, all-blah, blah, algorithm. And then we do have super chats. We do have memberships if you want to dig those. And then look at the bottom of the screen here, down yonder way. And in that crawl, it'll tell you how to turn on your gifted memberships. And if you turn on those gifted memberships, somebody might just, out of the goodness of their heart, totally free, give you a membership to the show. And then you will have access to that exclusive members-only content. Like yesterday, we did 3 whole hours with the wolf. I see hardly anybody's in our chat room yet, so I will vamp. And I actually have a very good reason to vamp right now, as I forgot to make a Twitter posting for this particular episode, which is bad. It's very, very, very bad. I don't know. I don't know anyone that's actually seen. I feel like if I say Bigfoot, there's only one. A Bigfoot, an Bigfoot, or Sasquatch. Which, why do we have to have 2 names? Can't there just be one name, or a Yeti, or whatever else? Everybody goes, no, actually, it was found in Alaska. It's a Yeti, and if it's found over here, it's a. I think there's a beef jerky brand called Bigfoot, but then again, that might be called Sasquatch beef jerky. I've seen the commercials. It's poor branding. If I don't know the name of it, by God, it's poor branding. But there's actually a website that you can go to. I'm not going to go to it during the show. But there's a website you can go to that will tell you the Bigfoot sightings, all of them, in all of recorded history in your state of the Union. And why would you need that? I don't know, but there it exists. And there's also people that will, I don't know, there's just a lot of stupid stuff about Bigfoot. I can't help it. But I'm going to be going into heavy detail tonight, heavy-duty detail about the legendary Patterson-Gimlin film. That's the most famous Bigfoot thing that's ever existed, probably, is that movie. You know that movie? And when you learn all of the things about that movie, you're going to not believe in Bigfoot even more than you do now. And that's even if you currently do believe in Bigfoot. You will believe in it even less after I tell and show you all of this nonsense. I would have thought that, like, after I went over the Loch Ness Monster, that maybe that would have been the most ridiculed and just outlandish hoax, dumb thing ever. Oh no, Bigfoot's got the Loch Ness Monster beat by a mile. By a mile. Now I have to do a quick Twitter posting on this thing. And since I don't see that many chats, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I forgot to do it earlier. I'm sorry, folks. There's a chance I could get 4 or 5 more views. And so that's a lot for this show. It's really weird. We go cooking along and start improving. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we just start stinking up the joint again. And Bigfoot, I thought Bigfoot. Who doesn't love Bigfoot? Everybody wants to talk about Bigfoot. I'll do a show on Bigfoot. This will probably do terribly. Tomorrow night's show, by the way, the TV show, The Wild Wild West. How about that? You know, that show, yeah, The Wild Wild West, with Dr. Miguelito Loveless. We'll tell you big reasons by the foot that you shouldn't believe in Bigfoot. There we go. Post the link. Go to the other page. And let me just see here if I just start to put in things. Bigfoot. Not Bigfoot Silva. They used to, in the thing, tell you how many, Bigfoot Society. There, that'll piss these people off. Just put that in there. Then you got to open up another Twitter page. Sorry, Twitter, formerly known as X. Does anybody call it X? Anybody? Does anyone call it X? Let's see. Oh no, I got to go to the search page. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing great and that you're having fun and that everything's groovy in your world and that you don't believe in Bigfoot, because if you believe in Bigfoot, I'm never going to trust you. You're never going to get to drive my car. You'll never attend an event at my home. By the way, I'm doing this show because this, and I'm not joking, this is actually Bigfoot month. This is actually Bigfoot month. Right on the heels of another famous month. Oh, God, this is such a pain in the rear end. Yeah, it's Bigfoot month. So these people have got their own month now. And they're making the most of it. Where'd Bigfoot Society go? That seems like it'd be a big one. You used to be able to get like all of the these things would here, top. Let's just do top. Bigfoot, and then it gives you a bunch of postings. I don't want to see the postings. All right, I'm sorry that I'm doing this live. I normally do this before the show, and I have failed to do so. And now I feel badly, and I'm not going to do very many of them. I'm going to do one more. This is what you get for not preparing. I started talking to a friend of mine, and on the phone, the Bigfoot Society only has 3,000 followers. Great. That's just great. And then we'll get into this. We'll get so into this. All right, I'm posting it. I'm done now. My full attention is back here on the show and ready to ridicule Bigfoot and those who follow Bigfoot. Remember, there used to be a show on that had, and it would air at the same time as this show. It's on another network, and it was all about, it was the something or other zone, and it had some guy that was supposedly an expert on these conspiracy theories. He may have had difficulty speaking, and then his host was a guy that came up with his own show with the most unoriginal title and content ever. They would love to believe in Bigfoot. They would believe in Bigfoot for forever. Forever. Let me see here. I believe in the beef jerky. The Wolf says that Bigfoot has special powers that make cameras with high resolution abilities suddenly become blurry. I know. I love the way pictures taken by everyone are clear, but Bigfoot pictures are always blurred beyond comprehension. Yeah, and I'll show you some of those. The Wolf says, by the way, the earth is flat. Yes. But again, please like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell. I know you people are influential. If you tweet this, if you put it on your Facebook page, your friends get to see it. I know you hold large sway with your friends. We desperately need that. We got to grow this baby. We got to make it bigger. So like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell. Those things and the like button. That's a layup. Come on. Pip. Done. It doesn't cost a penny. It don't cost nothing. And then super chats, memberships. We love those. They help us pay the bills around here. And get your free memberships by turning them on at the bottom of the screen. Wow, the Wolf is posting in the chat room fiend today. Also, I love in a fantasy world. Live in a fantasy world, not reality. Yeah, look, most conspiracy theories aren't real. Not saying all of them, but the vast majority. They're fun to think about. They're fun to postulate, but they're not real. I'm sorry. And even if all of them are real, even if Loch Ness Monster exists and all that, this one doesn't exist. It's not real. You can think it's real. You can rationalize it into believing it's real. It's not real. And most of what I talk about today is going to be the Patterson-Gimlin film. It's going to be this. Okay? That's what it's going to be about. It's going to be about this. I'm even going to show you part of this and comment upon it so that I transform it under the rules of fair use. It will become transformative. But it's not real. Coach Mike Rodick says, I thought this was going to be about monster trucks. I'm out. Just kidding, just kidding. I do believe in that Bigfoot. And I also believe in Truckosaurus. I totally believe in Truckosaurus. The coach says, hello to all my friends in chat. Oh, hey, Tom. Hello, coach. The Wolf says, hello, coach. It is about monster trucks. It's about people that think as if they've been hit by a monster truck. Right in the old brain box. Right in the old brain pan. All right, let's get into this. Before I do, I will need a... That one doesn't count. It was 100% backwash. Hold on. Oh, this one is fresh and clean. Okay, here we go. Bigfoot, sometimes referred to as Sasquatch. We're not doing that. We're not playing that game tonight, okay? We're just going to call it Bigfoot. If you call it Sasquatch or you have some Iroquois way of pronouncing Sasquatch or Yeti, or Yeti, or any of the other names, skunk ape, whatever, we're just saying Bigfoot. We're just saying Bigfoot. Metal Main Vicky's here, by the way. She says hello to everybody. By the way, we do have the most cheerful chat room on the internet via verification of independent sources. The Wolf's here. Says, I see they're doing Bush beer commercials again. Head to the mountains of Bush. Beer. People saying hi. People saying hi. Hello, Paz Up Patriot. People saying hi. Most cheerful chat room on the internet. Coach Mike says, backwash, extra tasty. It is the fillet of the beverage. Bigfoot is a large, hairy, some would say creature. I would say mythical creature that supposedly lives in the forests of North America, especially in the Pacific Northwest. It's featured in Canadian and American folklore, and since the mid-20th century has grown into a cultural icon with its own distinct subculture, also known as Fruit Loops and Loons, that believe in this thing. There you go. There's Bigfoot back in the days of the Greeks and the Romans. People saying hi. People saying hi. Goat is here. What's the beverage of choice tonight, Tom? It is the... Well, I'll just show you this one. This one doesn't have a koozie on it. It is the Coke Zero. Official drink tonight of the Tom Gulley Show. Almost... It's the empty. And hello, Goat. Goat is here. I can't say the full name because it just makes me laugh, and it's a little silly and a little dirty. Oh, let's go back to the famous photo. All right. So people that believe in Bigfoot, you know, purveyors and aficionados of pseudoscience and cryptozoology, they have a bunch of really unbelievable and silly evidence to... It's not, you can't even call it evidence, reasons, I'll say. Delusions, someone would say, that prove Bigfoot's existence in their, well, some would say minds, I would say tapioca pudding between their ears. Anyway, including anecdotal claims, which means I saw him. He was going across the road and he seen me in my truck, and then he run up a tree. Whatever. And then we couldn't find him. We tried. We couldn't find him. And they have very dubious pieces of film, very dubious photographs that don't stand up to any sort of scientific scrutiny. I'm just going to show you this one real quickly. There's one. Oh, yeah, that's definitely something. Come on, man. Are we supposed to believe it was moving and so fast? Yes, and that's why you got this still image of it. For the love of Mike. For the love of Mike. Terry Nee says Bigfoot is real stupid. Well, Terry Nee, I think you follow a show that's hosted by a guy that used to co-host a show that would have, for 2 hours, claimed it was real. And it is real stupid. But that was one of those shows where, the shoelaces are the door to the human soul. Okay, whatever, man. You do you. Good deal. Hi, Terry. People saying hi. People saying hi. Wolf says Bigfoot does exist. Is one of my nicknames. Oh, boy. Goat Scroat. I said you give me $10, I'll say your full name, even though it's vulgar. I'll go ahead and say it. Goat Scroat. Thank you so much for the $10. This show needs money so bad. And what we really need are new subscribers. And that's why when you post a link to this on your Facebook or your Twitter, it means so much to the show. It's so invaluable. But Goat Scroat, little wampum never heard anything. And Goat Scroat, for that $10, you're not just getting the full point. You're getting the full point without banner and full screen. Look at that. And without the super chat, obscuring it. That's what we call the full point. It is the most coveted honor that we can bestow anyone here on the Tom Gulley Show. And Goat Scroat, we appreciate you so very much. So very, very, very much. We certainly do. Like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification. We appreciate you very much. I appreciate you so much that when you say Sasquatch is real, damn it, I'm not going to say anything about that to you or about you. I'm going to let it slide about you. Well, so for the rest of the show, when I talk about people that are, I'm not talking about you. You have a well-founded and approved and sanctioned by the Tom Gulley Show reason to believe in Bigfoot. Or as you say, Sasquatch. I don't know which one is the beef jerky brand. It may be Sasquatch. It may be, I don't know which one it is. People involved in folklore trace the phenomenon of Bigfoot back to a combination of things: European wild man figures, folk tales, indigenous cultures. You got the skunk ape down in the southeast. You got the Almas, Yeren, and Yeti in Asia. The Australian Yowie. You've got the Yowie out there in the Australias. The Yowie. And other sorts of legends and stupid things. And so, by the way, people love to carve Bigfoots out of wood. I've come to find out recently. I have come to find out that people, more than anything in their lives, enjoy carving Bigfoots out of wood. They love it. Terry Nee says Bigfoot is hiding in plain sight. Wolf. Kind of. Positive Patriot says, didn't you do another show on Bigfoot recently? I did not. I would remember that. I did the Loch Ness Monster. Coach Mike says the same people who believe in Bigfoot are the same people who get the news. The news gets to describe what the tornado sounded like. Well, it come through here. It sounded like a train. And me and my twin retarded cousin, we jumped up off the porch and tried to get underneath. the mobile home, but the skirting wouldn't let us. We nailed it down real good this summer when that possum tried to get in. Yeah, those people. Yeah, those people. Bigfoot's often described as a large, muscular, and upright walking human or ape-like creature covered in black or dark brown or dark reddish hair. The heights vary. Some people say it's like 6'9", which is not that tall. It's only a few inches taller than me. And some as tall as 10 or 15 feet. Some describe it as more human than ape, especially in the face. That could just be a bad dating site. I don't know. In 1971, a bunch of people in this area of Oregon filed a police report describing an overgrown ape. And one of them said they had it in the scope of his rifle, but couldn't bring himself to shoot it because it looked like a human. It looked more human than animal to me, so I just couldn't bring myself to. Oh, by the way, this giant one I've got here is in the Garden of the Gods Wilderness within the Shawnee National Forest in Illinois. Listen, I've been to Illinois. It's not that untamed. Trust me. I mean, I don't know if you've been to the south side of Chicago, in the baddest part of town. But if you go down there, you better just beware of a man named Bigfoot Brown. Now, Bigfoot, he a gambler, and he likes his shiny clothes. And he likes to wear his fancy clothes. And he likes to wear his diamond ring on everybody's nose because he's bad. But anyway, Goat says, woo, woo. He's doing a Ric Flair, I think, there. And thank you for the emoji. Julian Zezer says, I've seen clear films of Wookiees, but I don't believe they're real. Did you see a Wookiee? Was he about to make the calculations for the jump to light speed? Did he do the Kitmer run in 30 parsecs? Anyway, the wolf says I'd sooner put 12-inch numbing swabs at my nose to take needles to my face than turn down the power of the point. Oh, the power of the point with the Ball State ring. Are you kidding me? Goat says, Tom, don't you think it's strange that all of these continents have the same stories and lore about Sasquatch? Even in Vietnam, they have the rock apes, also known as Bigfoot. Well, you know, that's a good point, Goat's Groat. I do think that's a good point. I mean, there's stories of leprechauns or leprechaun-like creatures all over the globe. There's same exists for the chupacabra and many other cryptozoology-type creatures. But what I think is stranger is we've never found Bigfoot bones or a body, ever. Not once in recorded history. And wait till I get to this Patterson-Gimlin film later. The things that you will learn are just amazing. By the way, here's another decorative carved out of wood Sasquatch example. Terry Nee says, we have a Bigfoot in Pennsylvania. Senator John Fetterman. That's right. That Bigfoot looks very explosive. The other one looks explosive. Quick feet, cords of muscle. There we go. Goat's laughing. Terry Nee says, I think I saw that Illinois Bigfoot in concert. You might have just seen Black Oak, Arkansas, or what was the band? Was it just Blackfoot? Is that the band that did Train, or I can't remember. Positive Patriot says, you can't prove that, though, Tom. Oh, I'm about to prove some things, though, Paz. I'm about to prove some business. Goat says, how rare does anyone find bear bones? No one ever does. No, actually, bear bones and carcasses are found all of the time. And even if they weren't, we have shot and killed bears. Bears often mistaken for Bigfoots. And you can shoot and kill and mount and taxiderm and get the teeth and make a necklace out of bears. We have plenty of evidence that bears exist. You can go to a zoo. You can see a live bear. You can go to Chicago and watch the Chicago Bears. You don't need to have bears proven in terms of their existence. Believe me, if we had 10 Bigfoots in the Indianapolis Zoo when I was growing up, I wouldn't be doing this show this way today. The Wolf says, we know why we've never found bones. The Smithsonian. Oh, don't get the Wolf started on his bone Smithsonian thing. That last pic you posted looks like Jesus Blackfoot. It does. Oh, and then people always have like whimsical things about Bigfoot. Like, oh, Bigfoot crossing, watch out. Jesus Bigfoot. Bigfoot Jesus? I live near Bear Mountain. Hey now, is that a nudist colony? Anyway. Shall I continue? Common descriptions. Let me put this back up here, because I think this is the best illustration of this for the Bigfoot. Common descriptions include broad shoulders. I have broad shoulders. No visible neck. Sadly, I do have a neck. It's getting all old manny. Long arms, which I also have. And a lot of people think that because of all of those things, that the bear is, a standing upright bear is misidentified as a Bigfoot a lot. Some things that also describe a Bigfoot are that at nighttime, a lot of people say that its eyes are glowing yellow or red. But what they call the phenomenon known as eye shine, that's a layer of tissue on the eyes of many vertebrates and some other animals. It's a reflector. It makes the eyes sort of visible by the way it reflects. It's known as eye shine. And that doesn't exist in humans or any other known apes. So that's not true. Animals that do have eye shine include owls and raccoons or possums, but not your big standing primates. There's a lot of dudes. Haven't found any dudettes, but a lot of dudes that are really into making money off of this Bigfoot stuff. They're these big experts, and they know more than anybody else. And one of them is Michael Rugg, the owner of the Bigfoot Discovery Museum. And he says he smelled Bigfoot. Imagine a skunk had rolled around in dead animals and it hung around in the garbage pits. That's what it smells like. You know if you're around a Bigfoot because it's got this pungent odor. Come on, man. Why would you aroma shame a mythical creature? It makes no sense. The giant footprints for which the creature is, they say named, I'll say nicknamed because it ain't a real creature, are claimed to be as large as 2 feet long and 8 inches wide. And people make plaster casts of these alleged footprints all the time, and they contain claw marks, and making it likely they came known from animals like bears, which have 5 toes, claws, which how can a bear be an ape, and all that other, and who cares? And this yonder is a picture of a petroglyph at Painted Rock, which is in California, which apparently depicts a Bigfoot. But you can draw anything on a rock, and that doesn't make it real. I could go through some of the early records of the Bigfoot, you know, the indigenous peoples of this country, the Indians, the Native Americans. They apparently had various legends, and one of them was told to a famous journalist in 1898, which 1898 isn't that long ago when you consider a species. Not that long ago. Not that long ago. There's been all sorts of encounters. Some are more famous than others. There's one tale of a family that was sort of kidnapped, or at least kept in captivity for a couple of days by a family of Bigfoot. Yeah, a mother, a father, and a child, and the child was as big as an adult human, and blah, blah, blah. They all have shaggy hair. 16th century Spanish settlers and Mexican settlers told tales of Los Vigilantes Oscuros, the Dark Watchers, in the region that's Mississippi. A Jesuit priest was living in 1721 and reported stories of hairy creatures in the forest known to scream loudly and steal livestock. Sounds like Indians to me, but what I know. Or just Cajuns that wandered over. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see here. Goat says there have been multiple accounts of people taking shots at Bigfoots and then just tanking the bullets. Yes. The wolf says that's what they used to call trucking on that side. It is. Trucking. I got my chips cashed in. Positive Patriot says Bigfoot is a lover, not a fighter. God, I hope not. That would hurt. Terry Nee says you'd think a Bigfoot would have shown up on aerial thermal cameras. Yes. Or satellite photography. Or motion detection cameras. If you really wanted to find Bigfoot, put a bunch of those trail cams up everywhere. Why hasn't Bigfoot never shown up on a trail cam? Once. Ever. I've lived in a very remote part of the United States, and lots of people have trail cam. Never. Nothing showed up. No bones. No nothing. No. Well, they're out in the woods and blah, blah. People are everywhere. Maybe not a lot. But you see something, vultures circling. A lot of people will go check and see what's there. Could be livestock, could be a deer, could be anything. We've never found a Bigfoot. Why? And we not only not ever found a Bigfoot, we haven't found the bones. Bones don't just disintegrate in a day. They're there for decades and decades and decades. Never found a one. Terry Nee says, Tom is throwing shade. How tall is Tom? What's his shoe size? I'm 6'5". My shoe size is 11. Wow. Extra wide, though. I got to get extra. So like the Grizz. Melman Vicky says, I bet baby Bigfoots, big feets, are just adorable. But it seems as if a female species have never been sighted. Maybe it's just this one immortal Bigfoot that just roams the world. Well, Melanie Vicky, a lot of people think this is a female. That this is a female. Due to, if you look at the front, some people think it has, I don't want to say this in mixed company, but some people think it has breastises. Some people. But then again, some people think anything. So I got another picture here that's just going to make us all laugh. I'm going to hold off on that one for a second. For just a second, I'll put that over the side again. This is just stupid. This carving here is just stupid. Goat says they're the ultimate tracker. Bigfoot can easily evade trail cams. Can their bones? I'm sorry, you gave me $10 earlier in the show. I agree with you, Goat. I'm sure what you're saying is correct, and I couldn't agree with you more completely. When you're right, you're right. And boy, are you right. Gilman says, hey, Gullerinos, Gullyheads, and Gullyites. Hello, Gilman. Nice to see it. Goat says, long dong Tom. No comment. The wolf saying hi. People saying hi. Most cheerful chat room on the internet is verified by independent sources. Oh, by the way, just need to remind you, please like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, all the free things you can do to help us with the algorithm, the almighty, all-powerful, all-seeing algorithm, which is mysterious and suspicious, but it does exist, unlike Bigfoot. And then super chats and memberships. Oh, we love those. We love them so much because they help us pay the bills around here. I'm on this mission to try and make doing this show my full-time job. And it's just been disastrous so far. But at some point, it wouldn't take much either. It'd take about maybe $30 a day, which is not, it's not beyond the. But we just need a bigger audience is the whole problem. And that means people sharing the show. That's all. And then turn on those gifted memberships. We had a wonderful chat with the Wolf yesterday in our members-only content. All sorts of old man stories. Just a bunch of old men telling stories. People saying hi. Wolf with his hatred of the Smithsonian and their hoarding of animal bones. Metalman Vicky says, could be breastises. Reminds me of Living Color. That's where I got it. See people saying hi. Wolf saying it's like the way rhinos show up to stamp out fires in the African bush. I don't know anything about that. 29, Indian agent and teacher J.W. Burns, who lived and worked with the Indians out there, Native Americans, published a collection of stories entitled Introducing BC's Hairy Giants, a collection of strange tales about British Columbia's wild men as told by those who say they have seen them. And it was a bunch of stories about wild people, including an encounter with a tribal member who met a hairy wild woman who could speak the Indians' language. And that's where the term Sasquatch was formed. It's believed to be a translated or jacked with version of Saskels. Saskets, roughly translating to hairy man in that Indian's language. So the folklore of the Cherokee, hey, check it out, Wolf. Cherokee includes the names of these things that were described as slant-eyed giants, which is just a little bit racist, that resided in the Appalachian Mountains, sometimes associated with Bigfoot. I could go on and 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 on, but I'm not gonna. Let's see, where do we leave off here? Gilman says, The Legend of Boggy Creek, a 100% ripoff. Legend of Boggy Creek is actually a movie that was based on a true story about a Bigfoot reaching through some woman's window and attacking her, and it's really stupid, and I'll tell you about it later. People saying hi. The Gods Must Be Crazy. The Gods Must Be Crazy is the dumbest movie ever on the earth. One of the funniest movies ever. I thought it was just stupid. A bunch of people that had never seen a Coke bottle thought it was. I hate that movie. The coach says, my uncle claimed to spend a season with a group of Bigfoots. Turns out he was dropping acid while he roadied for Foghat one summer. That's about the speed of it. Maybe Vicky says, great movie, Wolf. I haven't watched it in years. A lot of people like The Gods Must Be Crazy. I think it is just dumb. Stupid. I can't watch it for more than 10 seconds. It's just... It offends me. It's so dumb. Metal Vegas is, oh, look, their culture isn't like our culture, and they don't understand the Coke bottle. Wow. The Wolf says, well, everybody has one. What, a Coke bottle? Bigfoot story? What are you talking about? I'm taking too long to get to the Patterson-Gimlin film. This is where I'm really going to blow this whole thing up, this Patterson-Gimlin film. I refuse to keep talking about The Gods Must Be Crazy. I will not. I'll put your comments up, but I'm not dignifying that again. The Ape Canyon incident. This is when it's starting to get like nationally known, the Bigfoot thing. And it was in 1924. There was an article in the Oregonian newspaper, maybe Oregonian. I don't know. I don't live up there. It became a national news story describing a conflict between a bunch of gold prospectors and a group of ape men. Ape men in a gorge near Mount St. Helens. Prospectors said that these gorilla men were near their remote cabin. One of the men, Fred Beck, said that he shot one of the creatures with a rifle. And that night, they were under attack by the creatures, who threw large rocks at the cabin, damaging the roof and knocking Beck unconscious. Then they fled the area in the morning. The U.S. Forest Service investigated the site of the alleged incident. The investigators found absolutely zero compelling reason to believe their stories and concluded it was a fabrication. Stories of large hair-colored ape men that went on the mountains had been persistent in folklore, but now that area today is known as Ape Canyon because people are stupid. Ape Canyon. Ape Canyon. Are you kidding me? It says, well, excuse me. No, if you like it, go ahead and like it. Maybe that's what I saw when I was at the mountain. No, that was just my crazy girlfriend. There's a lot of mythical creatures that are mistaken for crazy girlfriend. The Bigfoot name got started by these two guys, Jerry Crew, not J. Crew, but Jerry Crew, and Andrew Genzoli. And Jerry was a bulldozer operator for a logging company in Humboldt County, California. And he found these large, and this is 1958, large 16-inch human-like footprints sunk deep in the mud of Six Rivers National Forest. And he told a coworker, and all the coworkers went, I've seen them tracks too on previous job sites. And they were telling all these stories about these 450-pound oil drums that were moved without any explanation whatsoever. And they started using the word Bigfoot to describe the creature. And they made plaster casts, which is a very common thing to do with Bigfoot. And then they show them off. And then a scientist looks at them and says, nope, this isn't real. In 2002, this is somewhat newer, but Ray Wallace, who was a co-worker of that J. Crew, not Jerry Crew. Sorry, Jerry Crew, not J. Crew. One of his co-workers, you got to remember, it was, 1958 when all that stuff happened? In 2002, 46 years later, one of his deceased co-workers revealed a collection of large carved wooden feet stored in the basement. Yeah. Apparently, Wallace had secretly been making the footprints and was responsible for the tracks that those people back in 58 discovered. Because they got the plaster casts out and the giant carved wooden feet when this guy died and these feet were found and went, oh, look. Yeah. By the way, Wallace, the guy that performed this hoax some 46 years earlier, he was inspired by another guy that did a hoax in 1982. And that guy had been doing the hoax since the 1930s to freak people out. Yeah. This whole thing is riddled with hoaxes. The biggest one of them all is the legend. This is a still from the legendary Patterson-Gimlin film. All right. Goat says, Genzoli might be the most Ginzo name ever. Hey, Genzoli, you're really Ginzo. Wolf says, I think it was Bob Lanier campaign in the woods the NBA offseason. Yeah, that does look a little like Bob Lanier. Bob Lanier does not get the credit he deserves, by the way. You know, he could be a very punishing defender, great rebounder, but he had the softest touch on that jump shot of his. He could go inside on you, but he was a center that could, knock down that 15-footer every time. Anyway, played for the Bonnies of St. Bonaventure, I think. All right, let me get a little more beverage here. And then I'm going to tell you about the Patterson-Gimlin film. And when I'm done, you're going to say, that's stupid, it doesn't exist. Gilman says, love a linear reference. That, my man. Well, that was back when the NBA had these things called centers. They don't really have them anymore. Oh, God. The Patterson-Gimlin film. Oh, golly gumption. And I'm going to show you some of the Patterson-Gimlin film here in a second. Great defender. My pleasure. Well, Bob Lanier played when, get this, here's who he had to play against. Lou Alcindor / Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, Nate Thurmond, Willis Reed, Wes Unseld. Do I need to continue here? Do I need to continue? That right there, Tom Boerwinkle. Okay, let's not mention Tom Boerwinkle. There's really no reason to mention Tom Boerwinkle. He had to play against real centers all the time. All the time. So, there we go. Uh-oh. We've got the legendary, the one, the only, the often imitated, never duplicated, Jesse P.S. from Pod Awful. Incredibly brilliant show. And H2BH says, sup, Gull Dog. H2BH. And he's got a question here in just a second. Total Dabbleverse Death says, looks like my ex-wife. Well, that's the thing, is some people, you know, and when you say some people, there's so many Fruit Loops that believe in this damn thing that, yeah, you could say some people believe that's a piece of felt. You know, but some people believe it's a female because of the breastises in the front. Jesse says, you more of a Patterson guy or a Gimlin guy? I'd have to say I'm more of a Gimlin guy because Gimlin was at least smart enough to not speak about it for 50 years or so until he realized he'd been cut out of any profits on the footage and decided to start speaking at conventions in his old age. But Patterson is a con artist from the jump. But I'll get into that here in a second. Gilmore, David Gilmore, great guy. Gimlin all day. Yeah, you got to go with Gilman. Stella's here. She's waving, saying hi. Goat is applauding. Jesse says, that Squatch got pendulous breasts. Yes, does have very... And, you know, people say the privacy of it was invaded. And I'm like, look at the way it's dressed. It had it coming, really. Had it coming. What do you mean by Fruit Loop? I mean somebody that's not all there in the noggin. I mean somebody that... I think Patty Squatch is a hottie. Hottie with the body. Anyway, this footage was filmed along Bluff Creek. It's a tributary of the Klamath River. Oh, brother. It's up in northern California, in the Six Rivers Forest. The film site is about 38 miles south of the Oregon border and 18 miles east of the Pacific Ocean, if anybody cares. Now, for a long time, the exact location of this site, the site that you're looking at right now, was lost because of some, you know, obviously trees and foliage grows, and there was a flood, and it's a long story, but they rediscovered the actual site in 2011. So there you are. Now, the filmmakers of this were, you know, Patterson and Gimlin. Roger Patterson who died in 1972, which is only like 5 years after this was first shot. This was made in 1967. So he only had 5 years to scam the living bejesus out of anybody that would listen. And then Bob Gimlin, who's tragically still alive. Yeah. Patterson died of cancer in 72, and he maintained right to the end that the creature on the film was real, which you are not going to believe in a million years after I tell you about this, and certainly I'll show a little bit of it. But Gimlin mostly avoided publicity discussing the subject from at least the early 70s. Never. He didn't discuss it at all from the early 70s till about 2005. He did like 3 little tiny appearances during that period of, 30 years. But otherwise, he didn't discuss it at all. And now he does give interviews and he appears at all these conferences and stuff. I think because a lot of people made money over the years off of the footage. He never did. He signed his rights away or whatever. So the film itself, and I have about 3 minutes of the overall film. It doesn't have that much of the Bigfoot on it, really. It's a very short amount. I'll get into it in a second. But Patterson had several times tried to get various movies made. And some of them were actually about Bigfoot. And the film they were shooting that day, the still you're seeing right now, was going to be a movie about Bigfoot. Now, what are the odds that you go out and you're thinking about shooting a pseudo documentary or whatever about some cowboys being led by an old miner and a wise Indian tracker on the hunt for Bigfoot? And the story recalled for Patterson and his Indian guide, who was played by Gimlin in a wig, and the various cowboys to recall in flashbacks the stories of Fred Beck. Remember Fred Beck in the Ape Canyon? As they tracked this beast on horseback. So they had about 9 volunteers helping them. And they were going to do this opus film over 3 days of shooting over Memorial Day weekend. And by the way, they would have had a Bigfoot costume on hand to do the Bigfoot stuff while they were doing this. Yeah. Yes, sirree. By the way, he approached Roy Rogers for help on this movie. It's just kind of funny to me. And he bilked a bunch of people out of money to make this movie. A bunch of people. He got lots of money from friends and relatives and stuff to make this film. I'm going to keep telling you the story, but in just a few seconds, I'll show you some of the film from this, because we got a lot of chats here. And Jesse is weighing in, and he's always funny. So, Artis Gilmore. I don't think that's Artis Gilmore. It could be Artis Gilmore in the suit. I don't know, Mothman. I really don't. Goat says, I hope Tom lives long enough to see the day that Sasquatch is proven real. I hope I live that long, too. I hope I'm immortal. Jesse says, I'm not a furry, but Patty does something to me. I think it's not bestiality if it's the missing link. Well, it's certainly within your species. Swinging, yes. The wolf says, stop it, goat. I already told you I exist. Something about big feet, big lady feet, and that succulent conical head. That's the other thing about this film is just the pointed 1980s short-haired girl dance thing. Jared says, I know nothing about Bigfoot, so I'll just listen today. Up fingers. Thank you, Jared. When has it stopped you before? Potoffel says, if Patty is fake, then it's the best Sasquatch cosplay ever, including Harry and the Hendersons. The movie or the television show? Both. Potoffel says, what about a Wizard of Oz, the Wiz-style Bigfoot movie called Big Ass? The Wizard of... I don't know. In a way, they made the best Bigfoot movie ever. They really didn't. They super didn't. And no, not the costume. No, please say it isn't so. Tom could easily be descended from Squanch or Yeti. I don't think so. I think it's the other way around. Facts. Judy Tester says, I thought the Gullies descended from the gossamer species. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Should we show something? Well, let me read a little bit more. So in October of 67, Patterson and his good friend Gimlin, they set out for the Six Rivers National Forest, and they drove in Gimlin's truck carrying all their provisions and towing 3 horses. And Patterson chose this area because of intermittent reports of the creatures in the past, according to him, and the enormous footprints that had started back in 58. Yeah. Now, Gimlin says he doubted the existence of Bigfoot, and he agreed that they should not attempt to shoot one with a firearm. If they saw one, they were just gonna let it live in peace, to love and serve the Lord. And so, early on the afternoon of Friday, October 20th, 1967, Patterson and Gimlin were riding northeast along the east bank of Bluff Creek, sometime between 1:15 and 1:40 in the afternoon. And they came to an overturned tree, which you see in the photo, with a large root system, almost as high as an elephant's eye. And when they rounded it, there was a log jam, like a crow's nest, left over from the flood they had had there in 64. And that's, I think, all that debris that you see in front of the guy in the suit. Sorry, Bigfoot. And they spotted the figure behind it almost at the same time. And it was either crouching beside the creek or standing there. It was either crouching down or standing. That doesn't sound funny. Gimlin later described himself as in a mild state of shock after first seeing the figure. Patterson said that it was 6 feet 6 inches tall, which is not tall. That's an inch taller than me, and Jesse himself has got to be at least 6'2", according to what we've seen on camera. And later, though, Patterson said it was 7 feet 6 inches tall. When people went 6'6", that's not even a power forward. What 6'6"? Anyway. Some later analysis by anthropologist Grover Krantz suggested Patterson's estimate was about a foot too tall. Gimlin said it was 6 feet tall. He didn't even say 6'6". He just said it was 6 feet tall. And it shows what they claimed was a large, hairy, upright walking, ape-like figure with short, silvery brown or dark reddish brown or black hair. I never understand why they do this. All of these Bigfoot accounts, they all say nearly the same thing. And it's always, well, it's either brown or dark reddish brown or black. It's one or the other. Look at this. You can't. By the way, they also mentioned the creature's prominent breasts. Hey now. Figure in the film generally matches the descriptions of Bigfoot offered by others who claim to have seen it over the years. Patterson says he was about 25 feet away from the creature when it was at its closest to him. It looks much further away than that to me, but I don't know how he had it zoom. He also said his horse reared upon sensing the figure, and he spent about 20 seconds getting himself out of the saddle, controlling his horse, and getting it around to the other side. In other words, his horse was in between he and Bigfoot. Get his camera from his saddlebag before he could run toward the figure while operating his camera, which, if this was real, would you be running toward it? Even if you didn't think it was going to just eat your neck out of your freaking head, why would you try to spook it and scare it off? He yelled, "Cover me," to Gimlin, and that didn't mean he wanted B-roll footage. It meant he wanted him to get his gun out. Gimlin crossed the creek on horseback, and Patterson estimates he was within 60 to 90 feet of the Bigfoot that he nicknamed Patty. Then, rifle in hand, he dismounted but did not point his rifle at the creature. By the way, Patterson estimated that Gimlin came between 60 and 90 feet. The figure had walked away from them to a distance about 120 feet before Patterson began to run after it. The resulting film, which is almost exactly a minute long, is really shaky at first until Patterson got about 80 feet from the figure. At that point, it glanced over its shoulder at the men, and Patterson fell to his knees to get more stability. To researcher John Green, Patterson would later characterize the creature's expression as one of contempt and disgust. You know how it is when an umpire tells you one more word and you're out of the game? That's the way it felt. Yes, a sports analogy is really appropriate here. Look at that creature. Doesn't that creature look like it had just been told one more strike? Shortly after this point, the steady middle portion of the film begins, containing the famous look-back frame. He says it turned a total of 3 times, I think, the other times therefore being the filming at its start or while he was running with his finger off the trigger. So Gimlin remounted and followed it on horseback, keeping its distance until it disappeared around a bend in the road 300 yards away. Patterson called him back at that point, feeling vulnerable on foot without a rifle, because he feared the creature's mate may approach. Yes, the mate. Mate is a word that is really always weird when they bring it up, especially in a movie. I see your mate has arrived. Come on, man. It's just so animal. Anyway, the whole encounter lasted less than 2 minutes. Next, Gimlin and Patterson. By the way, the encounter, remember about the movie about Bigfoots that they were making, and a Bigfoot just showed up? Maybe he thought there was an early casting call. I don't know. Gimlin and Patterson rounded up Patterson's horses, which had run off in the opposite direction. Patterson got his second roll of film from his saddlebags and filmed the tracks. The men then tried to track Patty, but lost it in the heavy undergrowth. They went to their campsite 3 miles south, picked up some plaster. You know, because if you were out in the forest in the middle of nowhere, you'd bring plaster, wouldn't you? Well, I mean, if you were going to try and perpetrate a hoax about a Bigfoot, you would. But if you weren't, you wouldn't probably have plaster on hand. They measured the creature's step length and made 2 plaster casts, 1 each of the best quality left and right prints. And by the way, they got double prints because it was Tuesday. They got anybody? Double prints? Anybody? Okay. We've got some additional comments. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these comments, and then we're going to watch this movie for a little more, and then we're going to continue crapping on the Patterson-Gimlin film, because after the film, as implausible and unbelievable as before the film and during the film is, afterwards, it gets really like, are you kidding me? Expecting people to believe this stuff. Let's see. We've got, Pineapple says, yes, big furry and orange. Makes sense. Well, silvery orange, silvery brown, black, or reddish dark black, silvery brown, or brown, silvery. I wonder what Bigfoot meat tastes like. Well, it's very convenient. I happen to have a serving with a napkin of Bigfoot meat right here. Here, see? Here's the napkin, and see that delicious Bigfoot meat on top of it? See that? See that wonderful There ain't no such thing. Jay Bizzle's here. Says, hey, Tom. Hey, Jay Bizzle. What up? Tastes. You don't have to correct it. I'm pretty good at reading chat ease. But I do appreciate your pedanticness and that you're a pedant and that you're OCD and a loving grammarian. Pot Awful says, shout out to Dirk's girlfriend, Lisa. Most of you watching right now don't know what that means, but if you did, we need, looks a lot like Greg too. We need to ask Doc what Bigfoot meat tastes like. Yeah, we do. Cajun Bigfoot meat. Tall for a lady. It should be in the WNBA now. People saying hi. Funky Bronco says, what's your liquor recipe? Funky, I'm not reading any of your comments for at least a month. I'm a drunk. It's just not, if you want to be Otis from the Andy Griffith Show, there's other shows for that. Wolf says, rye grain, wine yeast, high gravity yeast, champagne yeast, several pounds of German clear candy sugar. Gotcha. So, yeah. Like, share, subscribe. If everyone could like this show, it'd be great. If everyone could share it on at least one of their social media platforms, share the link. We just desperately need to grow this thing. You know what I'm saying? The money part of it, whatever. But it's got to be a bigger audience. This means bigger audience in Tom Gulley Show sign language. Pot Office says, I really don't like you bad-mouthing my girlfriend this way. I didn't say anything about your girlfriend. Plus, you're married. And I'm not saying anything about her because she's the meanest woman in the history of Earth. Coach Mike says, with breasts like that, it's hard to be a hey, an early casting call. Yeah, sometimes that happens. Jesse says, I carry plaster as part of my EDC, everyday carry, for those of you. I always carry a little 50-pound bag of plaster. Of course, in the Pot Awful cult, they're partial to concrete. Little sackcrete always in the car, right above the axles, in case it's snowy. Pa says, I'll admit the plaster might be a lie. Plaster caster. Love me faster. Pa says, but the rest of it is solid. Yeah, other than the plaster, but everything checks out. Yeah, he's legit. The Wolf says, later, I distill it. I'm not dignifying Funky's booze conversations anymore. PS2 Clay, that's just Lisa on a hike. PS2 Clay, Lisa is a very diminutive person, and that's a very tall person. Victor says, I live in Southwest Oregon. I believe the Patterson film is real. Dude, no, you can't. Well, keep listening, and then I don't think you're gonna. But if you believe some guys that went out to make a movie about a Bigfoot that had never been caught on film ever before, this Bigfoot creature just happened to capture Bigfoot on film and they just happen to bring plaster to cast footprint. We'll get into the rest of it. We'll get into the rest of it because, yeah. Bigfoot jerky, perhaps. That's what I'm saying. I believe in that. Goat says Dirk calls that animal his girlfriend. I don't know if they're boyfriend and girlfriend. I thought they were just an item. Victor says Otis rode a cow. PS2 Clay says, I shared the link with my dad and he hit me. We need Tom to get big. Yeah, I got to be big. I want to be big, see? I want to be the toast of Broadway, see? I want to be drinking champagne out of slippers, see? Beef Durkee says, make sure to call into the Tom Gulley Show. Yes, I will be opening the phone lines this evening after I'm done with this sterling presentation. Palafel says, I would like to both have sex with the Bigfoot and eat it at the same time. And by the way, those two things can be the same thing at the same time. Urban Moving System says that's just a picture of Bout. Palau says, I would also like to try giving the Bigfoot silly haircuts. I don't know if it's a necessarily silly haircut, but I would like to give the Bigfoot a makeover. A Jenny Jones show style makeover. Should really make a Bigfoot film. Tarantino. He's only making one more. I don't know if that's the last bullet in the chamber. Would have been great if he made one for Grindhouse. It would have been perfect. Goat says, Tom is spewing anti-Bigfootism propaganda. Yes, I'm with big anti-Bigfoot lobby. It just looks realistic. It was a forester in the woods all the time, yeah. Yeah, but Tarantino loves feet. He loves feet, but does he like plaster footprints? That's a whole different thing. It's a whole different thing. All right. You want to look at this dumb movie? Should we look at the dumb movie? Why don't we do this? Why don't we look at the dumb movie? Okay. Let's go ahead and look at the dumb movie. Now, I'm going to tell you in advance that the dumb movie, because I'm going to show you that the dumb movie, they were actually shooting pictures of cowboys going up and down hills and things for B-roll or whatever, and then we'll show you the just lovely, come on, dumb movie. Okay, here we start the dumb movie, and you can tell these guys were master filmmakers. In a second here, you'll see one of them on a horse, I think. But this is B-roll. Basically, B-roll is there you go. There's some of them on a horse. And B-roll is movie footage that you would use as a cutaway or to be having a narrator voiceover. It's not the main action of a film. It's sort of enhancing stuff. So there's you can tell they're great movie makers, and they're trying to get as much B-roll as possible. Let me just forward this thing to when the Bigfoot actually is shot. Now there's our good friend Gimlin, and they're just shooting. We're just a bunch of cowboys out looking for Bigfoot. Let me get this banner off of here since nobody's going to give me any money. We're just a bunch of cowboys out looking for Bigfoot, and I hope that we find one, but what would be the odds? Nobody's ever seen one that they can actually prove, and nobody's filmed one, so we probably won't too. Oh, I hope we see you. Wait, what's that over there? There's something moving. Let me jump off my horse. Let me get my rifle. Let me get into my saddlebags. Let me get my camera. Is there something in there? Is there something in the background there? Is there something? Is there? I don't know if it's, let me take a picture of the ground. Oh, there it is. There it is right there. Look at it. Look at it. It's just kind of honking on and runking and junking and looking back at me like, what are you taking a picture of? I'm not going to go very fast though, but I'm just going to amble leisurely like through here. And let me get down on my knees and get a better picture. And let me get it. And so then now it's just pretty much over. I think in the super enhanced versions of this film that you can see something moving through there or whatever, and he tries to get a better angle and he can't, and who really cares because it's just a guy in a suit. There it is far away, and then it fades off, and then we're done. And that's the story of Bigfoot. That's the story of Bigfoot, ladies and gentlemen. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of Bigfoot. For crying out loud. I'm 100% on the Bigfoot real side now. No, you're not. Please don't be that way. I have so much respect for you, and now I have absolutely none. Melanie Biggie said, Jenny Jones did have the best makeover shows, didn't she, though? It's odd to me that she never got one, because she needed one really badly. Jenny Jones, by the way, when she did stand-up, would have all female crowds, which I find to be reprehensible. Bigfoot was just a gorilla given too much German chocolate. Was it given too much of the pervitine? See, I think it would have been walking much faster and been much more aggressive if it had the pervitine. Bigfoot brand pervitine. I fundamentally endorse anything that disparages Citizen M, but I do not know that that screen name is true. Kino, that's pretty clear, Tom, in my opinion. Shambolic, but iconic. Is it Omnishambles? Hope it is. Man, the thick of it. Everybody, I'm endorsing the thick of it. And I believe if Malcolm Tucker was here, he also would not believe in Bigfoot. Urquit's here. Hey, Urquit. Hi, Tom. Hi, Urquit. I'm glad it wasn't on a plane. Is that in your avatar, Bigfoot on a plane? It's real to me, damn it. Goat, you donated $10 to the show tonight, so if it's real to you, it's real to you. Victor says, never seen a Bigfoot that had something throw rocks at me in the woods. We have no accounts that Bigfoot has a good pitching arm. Goat says, hell yeah. Hard Archivist is laughing at something, I don't know what, but I like Hard Archivist, so I don't care what it is. So the story gets even more scammy. Wolf says, it's looking around because the chocolates made it very paranoid. So yes, the pervitine, after many days of pervitine, you get paranoid. You'll get so paranoid. Paul says, have you ever seen Peter Kane, Tom? Not only have I never seen Peter Kane, I don't know what that is or who that is. Oh, wait. The guy with the frozen Bigfoot corpse. I didn't get any of these, and I'm not going to show any of the videos of these, but there's several people who claim to have Bigfoot corpses. They claim to have Bigfoot corpses, and you look at them, one of them, the hair is so clearly a shag carpet, it's not even funny. And the teeth and things are clearly from a mask from like a store, and people buy it, man. They buy it. I don't understand. Goat, thank you so much for another $10. Goat, you're far too generous. Wow. Is there anyone cryptids you do buy? I'm not a fan of the cryptozoology. If I'm going to believe in any of the cryptozoology, it's going to be something aquatic in the ocean, not in Loch Ness, but something in the ocean. Like there's some giant versions of some animals we have. What's the thing? It's got a shell. I can't remember the name of it, but they say they've found those or seen them before. That I can a little bit get on board with, just because the ocean is so deep, so vast, so unexplored. There's things that it's like I can see something hiding in the ocean due to its vastness and the depths of it. Here on land, no bones. I can't see that. Whoa, I forgot. For that, I'm giving it to you again. The point, without banner, without the rest of it, without full screen. There you go. You Goats Groat have really made tonight's show a financial whirlwind of success, glory, and all that stuff. So I thank you. Here, let's get another stupid Bigfoot carving, because people loves them some Bigfoot carvings. They can't get enough of them. Let me put that back up, because God knows we need the money. God knows. If I'm going to make this, I want to be like Jesse P.S. I want to make this my full-time job. I'm just pausing to let people stop laughing. Victor says, well, you Easterners, never been in real world. It's millions of acres. Dude, I lived in Utah, in very remote Utah. I am super knowledgeable about all of that stuff. And eventually somebody goes there. Eventually. Never is a long time. And to have never found Bigfoot corpse or bones is totally unrealistic. If you're going to use the millions of acres argument, why do people claim to keep seeing them? How's come? Why hasn't anybody ever shot one? I've seen his corpse. It has to be real. Oh, yeah. That thing's real. Are you talking about the one that's like in the back of a wagon? He goes out to his barn and gets it and wheels it out. There's a bunch of them. Let me guess. The corpses are blurry in the picture and film. Well, they're not so much blurry as they are never from a full angle, like straight ahead. They might be from a full angle laying down at the same place. Well, to Wolf's point, before I start telling you more about Patterson Gimlin, well, no, let me save that. After I tell you about Patterson Gimlin, I'm going to show you another picture that's just defies believability. The Pervitine Bigfoot. Yes, and for that, thank you for the $1.99. For that, you also get the point, Gilman. Thank you so much. Yes, the Pervitine Bigfoot, one of the most famous Bigfoots that exist. Woo, the point. Yeah, you get that point. Financial bonanza. You betcha. The Peter Kane Bigfoot core is quite compelling. Corpse. Thank you. Ever find a dead bird on the ground? A dead coyote? Yeah. Many times. Dead deer, dead everything. Peter Kane's grandfather. Okay, let's just get this. Peter Kane, Bigfoot. We got the Peter Kane, Bigfoot. Oh, yeah, that's a horrible thing. Let me get to the images of this thing. That is so awful. I've seen that one before. Frozen Bigfoot. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about with the shag carpet and the... It's funny because all the images that pop up are YouTube videos. There's no actual photos of this thing. You know. By the way, Peter Kane is also a makeup artist. He fancies himself a makeup artist. Well, gosh, who would believe that that he would have a fake Bigfoot? Yeah, that thing is... I can't show it, unfortunately, due to copyright restrictions. Because if I could, I would. But it's just... look up Peter Kane, kids, and look at that Bigfoot. Especially the one that's outside the barn. That's a pretty good length of video for that thing. And it's totally unbelievable. Palabra says, Peter Kane's Bigfoot is clear as day. Oh, it's clear. It's clear. It's clearly not a real live creature. It's clear that he assembled it with shag carpet and things he found around the house. Just a few household items. Wolf always makes good points. He does. He does. Wheels it out. Yeah, he does. So watch the video. Do you really want me to pull this video up? Minnesota man proven to be Iceman, proven to be real. Peter Kane is a dog trainer. Yeah, but he also sells on Artsy. He sells. All right, you guys have really talked me into this. I'm not going to show the video. What I am going to do is show stills of the video. All right, is that okay with you? Does that work for you? Where's the one with the wheeling it out with the... Hold on a second here. I saw the one that I had seen before with the frozen... Daggone it, I just had it. Let me pull up videos then. The tortured soul of YouTube, Peter Kane. That's funny. I didn't have Peter Kane. I had frozen Bigfoot. That was it. That's what I had done. That's what I had done. Well, for crying out loud. Frozen since 1953. I think maybe this is the one. Yeah, this is from Peter Kane Dog Training. Oh, stop it. Stop it. For crying out loud.
My father acquired the Bigfoot September 23rd.
Okay, this is, folks, let me just tell you, before I show you this, I got to tell you, as you know, I was a news anchor for a very large news network. Where the heck did my... Oh, well, never mind. Sometimes the show's more fun to do than others. Let me just tell you, before I show you this, I'm going to tell you in advance, it's a load of hooey. I don't like to use foul language, but this really is a load of hooey. It's a tremendous load of hooey, what I'm about to show you. And I'm not going to show the video, but what I am going to show you is the stills from the video, because I think that's going to be more effective in demonstrating to you just what a tremendous load of hooey we're dealing with here. Okay, so let me pull this up for you. And I don't know about you, but anytime a frozen artifact from 1953 is shown, I find it more believable if it's being shown. I'm sorry, I'm getting the highest resolution I possibly can. I find it more believable if it's being shown from in front of a barn. And not just any barn, but a barn that is apparently slowly falling apart. Let me just see. Here's Peter talking about this absolutely just ludicrously unbelievable thing. And he is a 6-minute video, almost 7. And I'm, okay, let's look at one of the forepaws here of this little fella. Look at that. Now, doesn't that look real? Doesn't that look like it's been around since 1953? The curly hair and such. Let's see here. What else did we have here? This is the most replayed section of the video, actually. Maybe just because it's where the Bigfooting begins. But look at that. That's disgusting. But oh, here we go. Look how even the hair is. Look how even length the hair is. It's just, it defies explanation. And of course, he's got that tarp. Now, I don't know about you, but if a tarp had been around since 1953, it wouldn't be like brand new Visqueen. Just poking a little. Okay, now this is part of the face, I think, here. I'm pretty sure we're looking at part of the face here. Thank you, by the way, Pot Awful people, for, again, hijacking my program, but in a good way. Not in a bad way, but in a good way. Come on. Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, man, I thought I had it. Am I going to have to actually play a segment of this? I keep showing it, and then it keeps Come on. I'm just playing a second of it here. There we go. Now, doesn't that look real? Look at those teeth and the mouth and everything else. You know what that looks like? It looks like the Bumble from the Rudolph the Red-Nosed. You know what I mean? It just doesn't look real at all. Not even remotely real. What are those open patches there? Like just below the eyes and stuff. There's no mummification whatsoever. It's just, what's the big above the eyes thing on the forehead? What is all that? What is all that nonsense? There's a part where you can see they really go in on the teeth, and I'm sorry, that's like a thing. It's a dental mold. It's just not. And why are they shooting it upside down? Why don't you just show it to us like a regular face? And then, of course, he pans back out to himself, giving a big talk about it. But, yeah, this is where's the full body shot of this guy? Where's the full-on body shot of it? From head to toe, where's that at? Where's that at in this video? Anybody, come on, tell me. Where's it at? What is it not absolutely clear that it's modeling clay around the teeth and does that thing really have this giant ledge underneath the thing, and then the top of it is not clear that's like gel trate or polyurethane? This isn't even a great job of faking it. It's just not. And all of this hair that's not matted, it's not it. If you believe this, you got some problems, man. I'm sorry, you just do. If you believe that, you need a little help. Just a little help. I'm sorry. You need a little help. You need a little bit of help. Before I get back to Patterson Gimlin, which I'm going to do, there's just a little thing there that I wanted to show you because the Pot Awful folks made such a big deal out of it. I thought I'd say something about it. Let's get to some of your comments. Wheels it out. Yeah, he had to wheel it out and show it in front of his barn, you know. So watch the video. Minnesota, I already did that. You are lying about dead animals. I worked in the woods, but dead animals hard to find. No, they're not. Some are, but nobody goes around looking necessarily for dead animals unless you see birds of prey and carrion circling. But if you're just walking through the woods, you see dead animals all the time. All the time. And bones and remnants and fur and all sorts of other stuff. Man, where I lived in Utah, easy. Coyotes all over the place. Deer all over the place. You do the math. It's your show, Tom. I know. Jay says, in 53, his grandfather shot it with a 30-30. Sure he did. Where's all the blood? Why won't he show us the full body? Wonder if Bigfoot is friends with Man Bear Pig. Well, I'm sure they're Facebook friends. I like the man who claims female Bigfoot made him have carnal relations with her. Jared says, this is the proof that made me believe. And then I saw his face. Now I'm a believer. Victor says that's what happens when an Easterner starts talking about the West. I live in Texas and I was living in Utah at the time. And if you're calling me an Easterner, you must be living in California. Goat says, damn. Victor says, a guy with with no experience in the wood. I have lots of experience in the wood, Victor. Lots of experience. You sound like the guy with no experience, that you've never seen dead animals. You've never seen a deer's rib cage just laying there, been picked clean. You've never seen that. Okay. All right. You sound like the tenderfoot to me. Take that. Victor, you mean northern trash talking about the flowers, the south? I remember them blue boys come down here. Never seen a dead animal in the woods. That's Beaverton, New York. He had it frozen. That creature was from New York. And this guy's talking about Easterners. Hi, Kim. I'm just upsetting you. I'm so sorry, Victor. I'm sorry that you're upset by reality. Jared says the hair is matted. It's not matted. Wolf says it looks like a pile of mud. Victor says I hear sirens. Press 1 in the chat if you believe this is real. And then Jared thus far is the only one that's pressed 1. Go out and smoke. Got to go out and smoke. Well, hope you don't see any dead animals out there. I don't know. Yeah, that's phony. Wolf says it looks like I stood where they fell. Did first graders make that paper mache? Jared says, I believe. What an idiot. If you go looking for death, death will go looking for you. Dying ain't much of a living, boy. Melanie Vicky's laughing. He's saying they're Facebook friends. They're in a few chat groups together and things. Now, according to Patterson and Gimlin, they were the only witnesses. By the way, remember they had those 9 assistants with them helping them with the movie, but they were the only ones that saw their Sasquatch encounter. They have the same basic story, but there's differences in the sequences of how things happen in their accounts. There's differences in how the horses reacted. The estimates of size increased substantially from Patterson's first description to subsequent descriptions. Worth noting. Now, people that think this Patterson-Gimlin film is real, they say that anybody that was going to scam people would have got their stories completely straight and together so that there was no disagreements or changes in them. A more serious sort of objection, if you will, to the film is its timeline. And that's important because Kodachrome 2 movie film, which was what this is, as far as can be told, could only be developed by a lab with a $60,000 machine in it back in 1967. And the very few West Coast laboratories known to have one of these did not do developing over the weekend. These guys claim they got it developed almost immediately. In other words, they were ready to show this thing almost right after they shot it. And so people are, how'd you get this developed? And also critics claim that too much happened between the filming, starting at about 1 minute and 15 seconds, and the filmmakers. Too much happened 1:15 p.m. when they started filming, and their arrival at a place they could do the drop off of the film at 6:30 for them to have traveled and got their gear together and done everything else. It's very, very, no, you couldn't have done that. Another person said that Bob Gimlin, he indicated that Patterson was riding a small quarter horse, and that basically, given the kinds of horses they were riding, they couldn't have gotten all the equipment together in one fell swoop. They would have had to make several trips, and they just couldn't have happened. They couldn't have happened. So, but they claim to have met up with another guy at a variety store in Willow Creek about an hour's drive from where they were at. So take an hour off of that and everything else they did and had to do. After shipping the film, they headed back to their camp and left their horses. Basically, I'm not going to go through all this. They had a timeline that just didn't add up. Did not add up. Patterson expected all the scientists of the world to go, finally, proof of Bigfoot, case closed. No. He started showing these to scientific organizations, this film. And they were usually arranged not at Patterson's request, but at the request of zoologists or authors or scientists of some kind. And everybody just kind of went, no. There's no. But Patterson still, and he's got quite a history of a con artist that I'm going to get to in a minute. He was conning people his whole life. He made a deal with the BBC, allowing the use of the footage in a sort of a documentary that they were making over there. And it was shown at movie houses and things of that nature. And, you know, part of the rights he sold to another guy, and then that guy made about $75,000. So the film starts generating national publicity. Patterson's on some talk shows to promote it by showing this little clip and sort of indicating that there's more. He was on a popular talk show in Los Angeles. He was on Merv Griffin. He was on Joey Bishop. He was on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. And articles about the film appeared in Argosy, which used to be a real popular magazine, National Wildlife Magazine, and Reader's Digest. In a radio interview, he talked about it, was on some national radio programs. And then Patterson, he was a scammer. So he sold the distribution rights to people more than once in areas that overlapped, in ways that overlapped. If somebody said, I'd like the rights to distribute that, he would go, exclusive rights? Oh, yes, I would like them exclusive, which costs more. And then he would just sell them the exclusive rights, even though he sold someone else the exclusive rights minutes before. Exclusive means you're the only one that can do it, to distribute it. He didn't do that. He sold it exclusive, but he sold it more than once, which you can't do. One of the people that had distribution rights over the film was a company called Northwest Research, which later changed its name to North American Wildlife Research Association. And they started compiling reports and hunts and things, and they basically became one of these Bigfoot money machines that makes money off of people's weak brains that believe in Bigfoot. Oh, by the way, dig this. This dude started selling Bigfoot traps. And he made this one, and it survives to this day. This is a Bigfoot trap, ladies and gentlemen. It's a structure designed to catch a Bigfoot. Now, looking at this structure, Bigfoot, known, of course, for its incredible height, do you think it could get into that? I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm just saying. Yeah. Let's get into Patterson. Just a little bit. I'm going to keep the Bigfoot trap here because it's something about the Bigfoot trap just says huge scam to me. And that's what this Patterson guy is all about. He had a very expensive 16 millimeter camera that he used to shoot the film with. And he rented it from this photographer, but he kept it. An arrest warrant was issued for him. And he was arrested within weeks of getting back and shooting this thing. After he returned the camera in working order, the charges were dismissed 2 years later. Now, while he was seeking all this publicity, Patterson, Gimlin was very conspicuously not saying anything. He only briefly helped promote this movie. He avoided discussing the encounter for like 30 years, turned down all requests for interviews. Gimlin was doing a lot of stuff that said, I'm not going to get sued for lying about this. And he later reported that one of the reasons that he wouldn't talk about it is that this promoter that had purchased part of the rights of the movie that made the $75,000, he promised to pay him a third of the profits generated, and he didn't pay him anything. Another factor was that Gimlin's wife was very strongly against him talking about it, probably with good sense, going, do you really want to be that guy the rest of your life? Okay. Patterson wants to go to Thailand because, right, for a good reason. A good reason. A U.S. pilot in the armed services told him that there was a Bigfoot being held in a Buddhist monastery in Thailand. Yeah. So all the money that Patterson had gotten up to that point, scamming people, he spent on an expedition to retrieve the Bigfoot that was in Thailand. Yeah, he did. And also to obtain more money to travel to Thailand. He sold the company the theatrical rights for the clip for a pretty good sum of money. He died of Hodgkin's lymphoma, which I don't understand. If it's Hodgkin's lymphoma, how do these other people keep getting it? That's a story for another day. And a few days before he died, he told this author that in retrospect, he wished he would have shot the thing and brought out a body instead of a reel of film. He, basically said, I wish we'd have just killed it and gotten the body. And years later, Patterson and Gimlin agreed they should have tried to shoot the creature with a weapon for financial gain and to silence everybody that said you didn't see this. But that just sounds like cope to me. Yeah. After about 3 years, 30 years, 3 decades of the Patterson-Gimlin thing being around, this guy who was a technical writer for a technology firm started interviewing people who knew Patterson. And, oh boy, liar and a con man was the most often used phrase to describe him. There's 6 or 7 people that said they suffered financially from their dealings with him, as well as the 21 creditors who said they had to sue Patterson via a collection agency. Another person claimed Patterson never repaid a loan made to him for a Bigfoot movie he was planning. He was one of the people that got scammed by the movie. In 1974, Bob Gimlin, with another guy's assistance, sued Patterson's widow, claiming he had not received his 1/3 share of the film's proceeds, and he won that case. There's tons of other... there's issues with the physical ownership of the film. He sold copies and negatives to so many people, nobody knows where the original is or what's the original. The whereabouts of the original is unknown completely. Some people say that he sold it to this company, American National Enterprises, and that company was sold to another company called Century Group. And when Century Group went bankrupt, all their stuff was auctioned off, and they were in storage. Everything that got sold is gone, and everything that remained in storage was searched, and it wasn't there. Some people think a lawyer in Florida might have the film because he was the one that searched out that storage company. That dude doesn't have it. Another guy thinks that it was last seen by some researchers in 1980, and they made some copies of it. but between 1980 and 1996, it went missing from this vault. 7 copies were made of the original film. And there's a second reel that I don't have, and I'm not going to show you, showing Patterson and Gimlin making and displaying plaster casts of those footprints, which are not ever shown in conjunction with the first one, at least in terms of ownership. So anyway, there's a lot of issues about the filming speed, that people that analyze films have said this is not shot at the frames per second that it should be. It's basically stuck on 18 frames per second. It should be at 24 frames per second. The 18 frames per second make it look like it's going faster than it really does. And so it's been debunked widely by mainstream scientists. It's been analyzed and shown to be absolute poppycock by, I could mention all these people's names, in various TV shows. Tons and tons of television shows have looked at this, and it's never been, yes. Rick Baker, who you might know from Hollywood, the legendary Hollywood special effects artist, says, it looks like cheap fake fur that you can buy anywhere. And he called it a crappy walk-around suit, and that it looks like a gag that's being played on somebody. A lot of other Academy Award-winning monster suit makers from Hollywood have weighed in on it. They think the same thing. Both Patterson and Gimlin, of course, denied that they perpetrated a hoax. But in a 1999 telephone interview with a TV producer from the BBC, Gimlin said that for some time I was totally convinced no one could fool me. And of course, I'm an older man now, and I think there could have been the possibility of a hoax. But it would have had to have been really well planned by Roger Patterson. There's a lot of evidence of the footprints being a hoax. And if the footprints are a hoax, probably the film is as well. You know. So anyway, I'm not going to keep getting into it. It's just, there's a guy named Philip Morris who owns Morris Costumes, who claims he actually sold the suit to Patterson via mail order. This was a guy that had a costume company, and he had one of an ape or something, and he says that he sold an ape's suit to Patterson via mail in 1967 and thought somebody was just going to use it as a prank. There's just so much scammy stuff about the Patterson-Gimlin film. It's not even funny. And I've talked for this thing for far too long. I'm not going to go into all the other Bigfoot hoax stuff I have. This is enough right here. If I wanted to, I could do 10 hours of how this is just wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's just wrong. It's not real. Let's see. The Wolf says, I'm sorry, if a guy pulled that thing out in front of me, I'd be laughing so hard. I need surgery to stop. Goat says, this is the first time hearing about them filming a movie of them having 9 assistants prior to them filming Bigfoot at the end. Yeah, 9 volunteers. Because you know Patterson wasn't going to pay him. Willow Creek sounds like it belongs in a song by the band. Up on Willow Creek, she sends me. If I spring a leak, she mends me. I don't have to speak drunkard's dream if you ever did see one. Wolf says, oh, he's one of them trashy drifters from the north. A grifter, I say. Them blue boys, I remember them blue boys. Ross Dog's Broken Spirit says, looks real to me. Well, the one thing I'll say about some of these Bigfoot people that believe in it is that, hey, you got to love a dreamer. You got to love a dreamer. Ross, it looks really, really funny. Height. Did I say height? Height. Who cares? I'm sick of that. Totally sick of it. Is it the proper height? I think that's grammatically correct. If not, informationally correct. Mary Jacob says, "Hi, Tom. How are you? How are you, Mary? Woohoo, I'm a member. Yeah, you must have got a free membership. By the way, like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, all those free things you can do to spread the show around. We desperately need that. Please, it helps us with the algorithm, the almighty, all-powerful, all-seeing algorithm as well. But you guys are influential people. You're, pillars of industry. And if you share it on your social media platforms, other people will go, hey, Hepcat, look what I saw. And then they'll maybe at least subscribe or like. And then now we're talking. Now we got a show going. Also, super chats and memberships because it pays the bills around here. And then turn on your free gifted memberships because people do gift them. And then you can get that exclusive members-only content that everybody loves on the weekend, where old men talk about college in the 80s and other things that I can't talk about here. We get the place shut down. The wolf says that trap couldn't even catch a rabbit, and he ain't no friend of mine. Ross Dog says, so funny, nobody can duplicate the costume to this day. Marshall Warfield. It is very Marshall Warfield looking, isn't it? It also looks a little like Ernest Borgnine. I'm just saying. People saying hi. People saying hi. People saying hi. What would entice a Bigfoot to enter that trap? Well, if we're to believe modern day advertising, succulent beef jerky. Me too, Mary. Mary, why about? The wolf says, hey, you watch Night Court too? Everybody watch Night Court. All is good, Mary. Hope you're well. He got to put something good in there. Well, the delicious, succulent Slim Jims or something. I don't know. Is that the real pot awful in chat? Well, I can neither confirm nor deny, but I would say it is because it's got a trademark on it. The arrest could have been the government trying to shut him up. Could have been. It could have been the big anti-Bigfoot lobby trying to shut him down. Metal and a bowl of Doc's gumbo. Are you sure it wasn't Nepal? I am sure. Or Tibet. I'm positive about those, Thailand. People saying hi. Mary says, it's good to be unblocked. Hi, Vicky. You were never blocked. Okay? Can I just say that? It just amazes me sometimes. People think they're blocked, and they're not blocked. It could be StreamYard, it could be YouTube, it could be something else, but you were never, ever, ever blocked. Other people have been, not you. You were never blocked. The wolf says, are you saying Mr. Patterson wasn't a moral giant? What a slander. Kind of. Wait, I think I have that film here. Victor says, you don't think that film's still around? No, the original is not available. It's not. Nobody knows where it is. Poppycock. Yes, poppycock. And I don't like to use this kind of language. Balderdash. I said it. Victor says, do you find animal carcasses are found around all the time? Not all the time. But since the beginning of time to now, yeah, I think pretty likely. Pretty likely. You got all these people seeing them in these specific spots, and guys who just happen to be making a movie about, and you can't, so if you see them in the 3D corporeal real life and you can't find a decayed, by the way, how does that hair and everything remain preserved from 1953? How? Explain that to me. If I go out and I shoot a deer tomorrow in the woods, even if no animals scavenge it, which is definitely going to happen, and it's in my backyard, a year later, that thing doesn't even look like a deer anymore. Since 1953, and it's still got all of its pretty hair, and come on. I don't care how much Viz Queen you put on it. There's a thing called, biological decay. And just call me crazy. The wolf says, think. You better think. Think about what you're trying to do to me. I stepped on one in the dark. 10 hours of what? I don't know. Goat Scruggs says, I need a Bigfoot part 2. Never seen one. What else throws rocks? Chimpanzees. H2B height. Come hang after the show, Tom. I don't think so. I can't get the thing to work. The Discord. It keeps saying it's loading, and then it goes back to not even being open. It's the weirdest thing in the world. Mary Jacobs says, fun. The Wolf, thank you for the $2, Wolf. Instead of the point, could Bigfoot wave? Well, I mean, I've got this. I don't think he's waving here. This is close to a wave. Okay, for you, Wolf, I'm going to show something I only showed for a second earlier in the show. But for the $2, here you go. They claim this is Bigfoot. They claim this is Bigfoot. Look at this. Blurry, hunched. What the? Are you kidding me? They claim. They claim. They claim. That's what they got. That's Bigfoot. Anybody else seeing a problem here? I'm just saying. I don't buy it. I just don't. Jared loved Night Court. Metal Maiden Vicky's laughing. Julian Zero says, evolutionarily, opposable thumbs evolved before bipedalism. So could a bipedal creature like the ersatz Bigfoot be incapable of making tools? Probably. I've never heard of any tools being done. Price Fam says, hey there, it's been a while. Chad, your Uber driver, teacher by day, and he knows a guy that I know. Hey, did you tell the guy that I said hi that you know? Because I think he's where you are, or he used to be where you were at. I'm sorry, you couldn't tell the guy because he used to be where you were at, then he came where I was at, and then now he's at a different place. I remember now. Totally remember now. Judy says it produces its own formaldehyde or something. It produces its own formaldehyde. It has that formaldehyde gland, well known to exist within Bigfoots. Yes, it does. I forgot about that. Thank you, Judy. If Bigfoot waves, will there be anybody around to see him? Poor Bigfoot just waving its stuff in the forest. It looks like a poor portrait. They run on all fours, hence the long arms. It's just so veiny. He looks like he's looking for his lost Bigfoot contact lens. Yes, his Bausch and Lomb. This is known as Bausch and Lomb Bigfoot. Price Fam says, I haven't gotten to talk to him. Then they shut down in 94.9 KLTY. Who did? Let's see. I've heard they've gotten rid of even more people over at that's the Christian station. Yeah. I heard they got rid of, so Salem is nothing but talk now. Hey, Price, I applied over at Salem, and I'm never going to get a job there because of the religious thing. It's not that I'm not religious. I'm just not that religious. So they'll never give me a deal. They sold it to K-Love. K-Love is that's the classic station. They get, man, do they get good ratings as far as radio goes. But without Wait Goat, I have long arms but don't run on all fours. And that's like, it's right. Yes, right. And I heard they got rid of a bunch more people over at KRLD. I'm no longer there, so I don't think they'd have me back. I don't think they're very happy with me. But I got the thing over there where it's like, hey, we've got big plans for you. And I'm like, I'm ready. And then nothing happens. And you're like, I'm waiting for the big plans to start. And I see people being escorted out the door. It doesn't look like this place is growing. It looks like it's shrinking. I noticed we declared bankruptcy and $1 billion loss as a company. I got the email saying this is actually a great thing for us, and I'm like, how is losing $1 billion ever a great thing for a company? Let's not get into it. But Price fam, good to see you. Glad to see you. Hope you're doing well. And my Jag's completely in order now, and I doubt I will have need of your services. But if I ever do, you'll be the first. You'll be the first. Let's see here. Bigfoot must hibernate because it never makes tracks in the snow. There you go. Maybe you should, Kim. I feel for you. Prayers for you. But no. I have. That was never my full-time thing. That was a full-time job, but it was not my. You know what I mean? It's like I had a real job, and that was the sort of, ancillary thing. So I'm fine. And by the way, I chose to leave. I did to take a bigger job that wouldn't have allowed me to do the other thing anyway. And given that they just, you know what it's like, man, in radio, you dealt with people in programming. It's never the straight story. Maybe your experience is different, but there's always a lot of prestidigitation and, which of the shells is the ball under? Wolf says, well, Goat, my track coach was happy with my results. Exactly. Ever see the YouTube video of the Norwegian horse girl who runs on all fours? I have never seen that. I have seen videos of girls from Norway on all fours, but they're not videos that are on YouTube. I could probably keep talking about this a long time. I think I've talked long enough. I actually probably owe you folks an opportunity to call in on the phone lines, which I will regret, but I'm going to allow it anyway. It looks like all the pod-awful people have left, so I won't get those kind of phone calls. I actually have to run an errand. I have to run to the convenience store after the show's over, so fire up the Jag. Do that. I think just for posterity's sake, we'll go ahead and put that Bigfoot up for the phone calls. Yeah, and they aren't videos of them running either. Well, never mind. I'm not going to say it. I've seen that, Julian. The galloping Norwegian girl. Is it like a Pippi Longstocking type of just an adventurous, free-spirited gal. Just a gal that likes to roam around and let's see what we got here. Why don't I change this banner real quickly? Because I like to change me a banner. They're not quite open, by the way, but I thought I'd get ahead of the game. Julia. She does dressage. Sans horse. She can do her own dressage, which is not common in a. That's funny. She does the steeplechase. Let's see here. Come on, open. It'll be open here in a second. Trust me. Trust me on that. She jumps over stuff. Vicky. Roam around the world. Roam if you want to. Without love, without wheels. Okay, so now the phone lines are open at 972-994-6822. For those of you interested in a thrill, they are open. And I doubt we get anything. I'm not going to keep them open super long, but I will keep them open. And we might get phone calls. Who knows? We might not. We could, or we may not, or we may not. I don't know. Nobody tells me anything. I'm not God. I don't know. Whoa, look out. Look out. Sorry, I'm trying to log into something here. And I made an error. Error. You have made an error. The wolf says B-52s. Oh, then not the same girl. What in the Heidi-Hody hay is going on here? Is it just... Why am I doing this wrong? I do it every day. For crying out loud. For the love of Mike. 972-994-6822 is the number to call if you want to call in. And that's what the number's for. And if you use it and call in, then you've used it. And if it's calling in, then I don't know. I'm trying to figure it all out. Let me see here. I don't understand why that's not. Why isn't that the way that it's not? If things were different, they wouldn't be the same, would they? Okay. Sorry, I'm very distracted here at the end of the show. It's I do have to say, a longer show than I traditionally have been doing lately. I think Vicky should call in. Well, everybody should call in. And if you love Metal Maid Vicky, which you should, you got to listen to Metal Maid Vicky's Metal Euphoria on Sonic Asylum Radio every Saturday, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Time at sonicasylumradio.com, the website. Do that. Julian Caesar says, I just looked it up. She jumps over a picnic table on all fours like something from American Werewolf in London. Kind of weird. Kind of weird. That statue looks like Planet of the Apes. It really does. It's Dr. Zaius after doing that home workout routine. Smoke Kane says, you know what they say about big feet? Yeah, big shoes. Big feet mean big shoes. Oh, wow. I just realized I'm wearing my Indianapolis Brickyard Battalion supporter shirt. The Brickyard Battalion supporters group of the Indy 11. 972-994-6822. I'll give it another 3 to 5 minutes maybe, and then we'll button it up if nobody calls in. If nobody be calling in, know what I'm saying? Can you dig it? Big feet mean hard to find shoes. My feet aren't that big. They're very wide, I'll put it that way. Some would call them girthy. Anyway, tomorrow night on this program, The Wild Wild West, Robert Conrad, Ross Martin, Dr. Miguelito Lovelace, played by Michael Dunn. Down, 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 down. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. So Mary Jacobs says, yowza, yowza, yowza with a schnauzer. And that's it. That's all I got to tell you about Bigfoot. It's not real. Stop it. Just stop it. I know there's one. I don't think it's real. It ain't real. He has bilky Barty legs. Maybe he said, I would call in, but I'm tired. I hear you. I would call in, but I'm tired. And I got to put on a pair of jeans and run down the street here real quick. So that's not real. That's certainly not real. This is often mistaken for Bigfoot. Nobody ever trapped a Bigfoot, so that's not worth anything. That's just some things some kids made in shop. And, you know, that's just meant to be a joke. You know, that's certainly not real. That's hideous. Oh, sorry, that's me. Sorry, that's me. Sorry, it's me. Smokane says, I think they used all the Bigfoots for the McRib. Bigfoot meat. Tangy. Metalman Vicky says, oh my God, Wild Wild West. My dad and I used to watch that when I was a kid. Well, we're going to cover it tomorrow on this show. Daggone it. The Wolf says, Billy Barty, legs shaped like a zero. Yeah, he did have those bowed legs. He had the bowed legs. Hey, I'd really like to thank this evening, especially while the point's up, Goat, good old Goat, who not just once, but twice gave us $9.99. Man, you can't imagine how much that helps out around here. Gilman, right in there with the $1.99. Thank you. And the Wolf, of course. The Wolf with $2. Instead of the point, could he Bigfoot wave? Could I Bigfoot wave? I do have some other photos from that particular photos. I don't know if anyone I'm saying, you know. No, but I can show you a picture of the wolf's surgically altered hips. There you are. Those are the steel that were put into his hips, which is way more Bigfootish than anything I've seen from the Bigfoot people. That I can tell you. That I can tell you, Mr. Cowboy. I feel the power. You feel the power of the Ball State ring? Look out, ladies and gentlemen. There it is in full living color. Look at it. Look at it. See it sparkle. Watch it jiggle. Ooh, that was actually pretty good. Let me get this thing off here. Let's see if I can get a relatively high quality. Here we go. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Daggone you. Oh, and then I just took it out of focus like a dingle breath. I had it really good yesterday on the show. Oh, there we go. There we go. Look, you can see the cardinal head on the inside. Yes. By the power of the Castle Bracken Library. The Wolf says, I feel explosive. Yes. Yes, it's like a cult that only me, Jim Davis of Garfield fame, David Letterman, and Joyce DeWitt, only us four belong to the cult. We have acolytes that are lesser. Oh, Doug Jones as well from Hellboy. Goat says, wow, wowie, zowie. Okay, I'm closing the phone lines down. I thought the Pod Awful group would be all over these phone lines, but they're not. So we must close the phone lines. They are closed. There's nothing you can do about this. Hopefully I won't receive any copyright strikes on any of the stuff I've done here this evening. And Andrew Hanley says, Ball State, you betcha Ball State. Betcha by golly, wow, you're the one that I've been waiting for forever, and ever will my love for you. There we go. You might be able to, oh, I've got it upside down. Okay, let me see if I can get it without breaking the focus of it. Ah, you son of a, you dirty dog. Ah, you dirty dog. Let me see if that'll do it. Come on. Let me get the focus. Come on. Focus. There we go. Look at that. There we go. There's your Ball State University. Right. I've got your Ball State University right there. Look at that. With the cardinal in the head. There you go. There you go, Andrew. You're welcome, Andrew. You're welcome. Wolf says, I'm small, but I feel like a real stick of dynamite. Goat, that thing you heard is not correct. Championship or class ring, Tom? Well, it's not a championship ring because we didn't win no championships when I played there. It is a sort of achievement ring. And a little bit of a class, not much of a class. I mean, it's got the sport on the side. If anybody wants to if anybody cares, which of course no one does, and I don't blame you. It's got the sport on the side and my name. And then on the other side, it does have my major, because they asked me what I would like on the other side. And I said, well, just put my major there. So broadcasting, or at the time it was called radio, television, motion pictures. And they changed it to telecommunications or whatever. Anyway, that's what's on the other side of it. So it's just a combination of a lot of things, all of which provide power. Thanks, Tom. And don't thank me. No thanks are necessary. As I mentioned, tomorrow night we will have The Wild Wild West, the television program, and we'll talk about that. There's surprisingly a lot to talk about with The Wild Wild West. Most importantly, The Wild Wild West was a Western, but it was a Western spy show that had elements of steampunk in it and sci-fi. Interesting show. And there's just a lot behind the creation production of it that we'll cover, and it's going to be an interesting time. I think it's one you'll enjoy. What sport did I play at Ball State? Soccer. I played football, the European football. You call it soccer. Yeah, soccer. I played soccer. All right, kids. I hate to say this, but I'm going to have to close this baby down. We're going to have to shut this sucker down. What temperature is it right now? 68 degrees here in Dallas, Texas. Can you dig it? 68 freaking degrees. I got to run down the way. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed tonight's program. Very long program. And thank you for being here for it. Thanks to everyone who donated. Thanks to everybody who liked, shared, or subscribed. Please do that. We got to grow this sucker. We got to get this baby moving in terms of subscribers. Look, I don't care if you even watch the show after you subscribe. I just need to subscribe. Actually, I do care. But I don't care that you watch it as much as I care that you subscribe. Anything that helps. Anything that helps. Tommy the Twine Tickler was a goalkeeper champ. Gold Scroats, thanks for the Squatch show, Tom, but you're wrong. I can live with that, Goat. I can live with that. Paz says, thanks, Tom. Great show as usual. The Wolf says, please don't. I'm afraid Bigfoot might attack me. Smoke Kane says, let's freaking grow. Yes, let's grow. Another great show. Well, thank you all. You're too kind. However, with all the things that I've said being said, an old clock on the wall says it's time for me to get up on out of here like the Reverend Al Green. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. And so the only thing that needs to be said is tomorrow night, Wild Wild West. Night after that, Inventing Color Television. I had something else for Thursday, too. What was it that I had written down here for Thursday? I was going to do Recessa Annie, but I'm not doing that anymore. Anyway, till next time. Oh, wait. The Looney Tunes critic says, well, we got a couple people here. Megan Fox. I don't think that's the real Megan Fox. But if it is, hello, Megan. Nice to see you. The Looney Tunes critic is here. We love the Looney Tunes critic. He says, Tom, wait. I mean, Mickey says, good night, everything. What is it, Looney Tunes critic says? Never leave. No, I've got to leave. I got to run to the convenience store and get some over-the-counter tummy meds. I love Tom. Well, thank you. I love you, too. Looney Tunes, is there anything else? Am I being trolled, or you just... So I was just about to hit the button. But if you have something of interest, then I'm here. Phone lines have been closed down. Basically, you've watched... Oh, I miss you, buddy. Well, I miss you, too. You know where to find me. Every night, 8 a.m., 8 p.m. Eastern. Except the weekend. Have a good night. I will do that. Everybody check out the Looney Tunes critics. He's doing wonderful things for someone somewhere, I'm sure. And... oh my God, I knew you loved me back. I did. Andrew says, what kind of pillow are you sleeping on, Tom? I don't know. I don't even know. I think it's just a regular pillow. don't classify. I'm a man. I don't concern myself with pillows. I just go to the store and see a pillow and I buy it and I put a pillowcase in it. I unwrap the plastic. I'm not a fool. Anyway, till next time, we'll see you next time.
My stars above.